All right, welcome back. So today I had an issue with this deck, so I have to fix it again. This is supposed to be little Yugi deck. I wanted to make it based off the last duel on the Duel Monsters anime, but clearly the movie had another version of cards. And then lastly, I also saw that there were Shining Sarcophagus cards coming out. I'm like, there's too many cards to put in, so I had to. I also noticed there were like a lot of tribute monsters on the original Little Yugi deck from Dark Side of Dimensions that I did. So this is gonna be an amalgamation of, Last Duel with the Pharaoh, Dark Side of Dimensions, and Gold Sarcophagus. So here we go. This is gonna be the 40 card deck version. As you can see, I also have a. Didn't put the Sieves. That's the Sieves I went with. Bam. So I didn't put some of the cards, but you'll see they're still at least on the side deck in case you want to construct kind of something more similar to the Dark Side of Dimension deck. But the disappointing thing is it's not fully a Dark Side of Dimension deck, but there are other cards in here, so hope you enjoy. So first off, this Gandora art, it is my favorite art, man. When I saw this card, I was like, I have to get it for Little Yugi. So here it is, and it's one of these Gold Sarcophagus cards. So, Shining Sarcophagus. There we go. So the next up is Buster Blader, because if it's going to be competing with a Kyber deck, then it has to run some form of Buster Blader, and usually I go with the original one, just because it has the effect specifically, against dragons. The newer Buster Blader is more of getting an equip card, so I prefer this one. And clearly, if I want to go for Dark Paladin, I'm using this card. Next up is the true, or the most recent Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic. So it's basically Dark Magician, but for Shining Sarcophagus, so that's why, I know this is going to be controversial, because if it's a Dark Side of Dimension deck, why isn't it a particular Dark Magician here, but whatever. At least it's on the side deck. This is just the way I want to do the deck, to make it kind of run better, but whenever you guys are making your own decks, clearly you're free to put in or put out whatever you want. Next up, I actually put this Lord Gaia because it's a special summon monster, and I just, again, I wanted to put something. There's not that many Dark Side of Dimension decks, Dark Side of Dimension cards here, so I wanted to put this one, and I really like this art. It's basically like Gaia the Dragon Champion, one more card, so I went with this one. Next up, so we do know that Little Yugi uses Summon Skull against the Pharaoh in the final part of the anime. So when I saw that Shining Sarcophagus had a brand new, way better version of Summon Skull, I have to go with this one. This is amazing. Next up, the legendary, one of the most legendary cards, also part of the Shining Sarcophagus deck. Sorry. So of course, Dark Magician Girl, I had to put her here, and it was pretty recent, so I just had to get the card and put it on this deck. Okay, so here we go, and another Shining Sarcophagus card, Gadget Trio. Instead of having 3 different gadget monsters on the deck, I saw that I only had 1 card with all 3 of them. Perfect. This is what's going on the deck. Then I put more Marshmallow because I love all of the Marshmallow variants. I love this card, it's so troll. Then next up we have Silent Magician Zero. I've always wanted to use Silent Magician in a deck, so what better than a Little Yugi deck, and this version of the card where it's not so heavy card dependent. It runs well with Shining Sarcophagus, so he ran it like the small one and then it grew, so I'm using this one for the main deck. And then of course the same reason, Silent Swordsman Zero. Again, I love this card. I always wanted to run Silent Swordsman level 7 as well. So what better version of this one on this Little Yugi deck. And now for a few more of the Dark Side of the Dimension decks, we have Apple Magician Girl, Lemon Magician Girl, Chocolate Magician Girl, and Berry Magician Girl. So I kind of decided to skip out on the tribute one, just because it's a tribute, and honestly, I don't think it helps that much. So I went with the level 4-star or lower Magician Girls. Another Dark Side of Dimension card, Sentry Soldier of Stone, just for the defense. And I just like Giant Soldier of Stone, so it's going here. And now, Celtic Guardian of Normal Arms. I love the Celtic Guardian, so having a 7100 beater, and you have the power to draw if you have more Celtic Guardians. I'm assuming it works with itself, so if it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to get a rule book and change a few things, but I only run one copy of this here. And then lastly, Yugi did use Wish of the Back 4, so this is excellent for bringing out that Summon Skull. I actually don't know the name, I'm just going to keep calling it Summon Skull, to your hand very fast. And then lastly, my other favorite Yugi card, the original Marshmallow. I had a secret rare, so I was like, no, I'm putting this on the main deck. So and kind of to weaken the deck actually, I went with Blockman. So this is a card that you can move in and out, just change it for something else. I run it with this because back then I remember I wanted this card. It is a secret rare card. If you can make it stall, you can summon a bunch of monsters to, to tribute summon using this card. But you can actually trade this card for something else. But from all the cards that were available on Little Yugi, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get this one. So there it is. Lucky guy to make it to this deck. All right, now for the magic cards. And if you guys remember the Yami deck, the Yami Yugi deck, or Atem, Card of Sanctity, we run it as it is run in the anime. Not that you don't read this, you play it as the anime. Okay, next up, Pot of Greed. Of course, Gold Sarcophagus if we're running a Little Yugi deck. And then not one, but 3 copies of Shining Sarcophagus. To get those, because all those cards work with that. But this is a part where I don't know if it's like too broken to go against Kaiba, so that's why these decks are getting a revision. And I need to test them out, but I already have this deck, so I might as well make a video with it. Hope one day before I die and be with my lord, I will say like, this is the last one, this is my version of the Little Yugi deck. But until then, here we go. Next up, Monster Reborn, of course. I went with 1 Magical Dimension. Source of Revealing Light, for me, such a troll card, I had to put it in here. Then we have some cards that help out the silent monsters, so Future Silence. We also have Ties That Bind. And the last one, Turn Silence. Now, for the trap cards that Yugi runs, I remember in the Dark Side of Dimensions, it's supposed to be a trio, but it's actually 4 of the Guardian cards that Yugi runs, but I think I only like 1 of them. So again, this is like a summing up from everything, including Shining Sarcophagus cards. So Little Yugi does use Magic Circle. Then on the movie he uses, the next cards are going to be from the movie, so Magician's Defense, because I love the art. Dark Horizon. Dimension Guardian for me is the best one, so I went with this one. Metamorph Fortress, very good card. And I also added Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light, again, just to add more cards from the Dark Side of Dimensions. And then next up, so he doesn't run Mirror Force, but Shining Sarcophagus does have a Mirror Force, so I'm running this. Another reason why I wanted to make this deck, Yugi does use Magician's Circle, I think it was to summon the Silent Magician, right, in the duel against the Pharaoh. And lastly, Stronghold, the Hidden Fortress. Alright, that's it for the main deck. Let me put the card Gandora. Because there's 3 versions of Gandora. We have the original one, we have the one from Dark Side of Dimensions, and the Gold Sarcophagus one. So now, let's see the fusion deck. You have to be wondering, there's no polymerization or whatever. You're gonna see it on the side deck. So this is just in case you want to add that. So as usual, this is gonna be very similar to the Atem deck that I made. Quintet Magician, Master of Chaos, Red Ice Dark Dragoon, Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, Dark Paladin, Amulet Dragon, Dark Magician the Knight of Dragon Magic, the Dark Magicians, Buster Blade of the Dragon Destroyer the Swordsman, Dark Cavalry, Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight. I have to go with the alternate art because I already have the original art on the Atem one. Dark Flare Dragon, Ebon Illusion Magician, Ebon High Magician, Lackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. So there was one magician I was tempted to go with, but it requires 3 level 7 ones. I was like, nah, I'm not going to be able to summon 3 level 7s in one round here. I mean, it's possible, but highly unlikely. Alright, so now for the side deck, we have the legendary, the Atem card, the full side of the movie, Paladin Oracle Mahad. As you can see, these are cards that I also, they're just too valuable, right? This card is so iconic in the movie, it has to go at least in the side deck, or you can trade it in and put it on the deck. And then we have the Dark Magicians from Dark Side of Dimensions, which looks so awesome. Not my favorite art, but one of my favorites. This is amazing. Then I put this one. Pardon me. I put this one for a couple of cards that are coming. I don't think the next, but I just needed more warrior monsters. So this is also, it can be normal summon without a tribute. It's a 7-star. It's a light monster. It's warrior. So it's going in here. And then we have 2 more Celtic Guards of Noble Arms in case the effects works for this one. Okay, if I'm getting it wrong, because I'm brand new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. I used to play back when it started, and I came back just to make the anime deck, so I'm not into how the tournament play works. So if I'm doing this wrong, then yeah, you're free to remove these cards. But as far as I understand it, if you have 2 or 3 of these on the field, you can activate the effect of drawing monsters, right? Or drawing from your deck. So 2 more copies of Celtic Guardian, Guard of Noble Arms. Then, again, I need more warriors. And here we go for more spellcasters. We have 1 Silent Dark Magician. And so now make it like so OP with 2 900 beaters. I went with Skill White Magician to also bring out the Buster Blader. If not, it's good defense, good attack, a spellcaster. And now for the reasons why I need to add more warrior spellcasters in this deck. Here it is. Even though I like the tiny looking versions from Silent Sarcophagus, I always wanted to try out these like grown-up versions. So here they are, and that's why I have like all these. You must have been wondering like, why do you have those monsters? There's so many other monsters that Yugi uses. So, but that's why I have them. Silent Magician, and likewise Silent Swordsman. I always wanted the level 7. This one looks and is the level 7, right? So, and this is why I needed more warrior monsters on the deck. So, just having these cards. And oh yeah, so Little Yugi did not use this card, but it came out in the Dark Side of Dimensions, so I'm like, you know what, put it here, it's a good card. Right, so why not? Then I have Tamias just to freely use Dark Magician, but this is why it's on the side deck, because I don't have the original Dark Magician, unless it's on the field, right? Dark Magician on, the deck, so I kept it here. So this is what we're going to be using to get any future monster that you want from the extra deck. But you're also running 1 Polymerization just because we saw it in Yugi's hand on the movie. So you have 2 alternatives on getting cards out, but this one's more viable, right? And then to help the other silent monsters, we have Silent Sword Slash and Silent Burning. So this is supposed to be, right, like our version of, what's it called? Card of Sanctity. But of course, I was like, nah, man. The anime uses Card of Sanctity, so yeah, we're using that one. And then lastly, just in case, a Mirror Force, because attempted, it's just like, oh man, I need like 1 more trap card or something, so I just go with the Mirror Force. And yeah, and that's it for my Little Yugi Dark Side of Dimensions Silent Sarcophagus. It's supposed to be Little Yugi / Dark Side of Dimensions / Shining Sarcophagus deck. So hope you liked it, and we'll see you on the next one.